Today we're going to be making some envelopes. I made a birthday card. It's a pull tab. You pull the tab and it reveals a message, and this is the birthday card that I made. That's the inside, very basic. But I've got these extra cards that I need to make envelopes for all of these, so I'm going to just do a quick batch and get them all done at one time, which doesn't take very long. So I've got one blue one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pink ones to make. So here I have my blue cardstock. Personally, I like to make the envelope matches the same color family as the card with whatever material that I have on hand. You can, of course, buy your own, but it's so much easier and cheaper just to go ahead and make your own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, those are sticking. Well, that's sticking. 6, 7 pink and 1 blue. So I'm going to do 2 sheets at a time to save myself time. And these cards are, let's measure, these cards are 5 and almost 5 5/8 by 4, 4 1/4, so 4 1/4 by 5 5/8. So let's just say 4 1/2 by 6, so 4 1/2 by 6, 4 1/2, and I'm using the Stampin' Up! Envelope tool maker. It comes with its own stylus. And let's see here, so here's a little grid marks that tells you what size card that it is that you're making, and it tells you what size paper you need and then where you need to score it. And I'll go step by step as we go along. So let's just go ahead and get our measurements here. So we want to use the 4 1/2. Oh, I just lost. What did I say it was? It was, let's look again. So we're going to go by 5 1/2 because I want the card. That's another thing, is do you want the card to go out this way, or do you want it to be pulled out this way? I personally like it to pull it out from the fold of the card itself, the fold part, but that's just me. You do it how you want to. So we're going to do 5 1/2 by 4 1/2. So 5 1/2 by 4 1/2, 5 1/2 by 4 1/2. We'll have to go backwards, so because there is no 5 1/2 by 4 1/2. So we'll do 4 1/2 by 5 1/2, which is an A2 size. So that's going to be 8 1/8, and we're going to score and fold trim at 3 3/4. So 8 1/8. So we want this to be 8 1/8, and 1/8 is that second little notch. Okay, so 8 1/8, but you know what, I want to make sure, so I'm going to get my little trusty ruler. I just want to make sure this is right. So let's go to the edge here, that's 8, is right there, 8, that's 8 mark, and 1/8 is 2 more notches from there, so that's 1, 2, so right there is where it should be on that one. And on the length one, here we go, 8, make sure that's flush, laying flat so we get a true measurement, 8 and 1/8. That's the next one. My OCD kicks in, so I always like to double check myself. So here we go, 8, 1, 2 notches, and 1/8, and see how I'm off a little bit right there. So just keep in mind, because not all trimmers, their scoring is exactly the way it's supposed to be. I don't know why they do that, but I do have a little notch here that this is 8 1/8. So let's just measure that. This is the end, so this is 8. Yep, there it is. 8 1/8 is that little notch right there, not the second one over. So if you see that, that is 8 1/8 right here, not the second notch right here that you would think. So It's always kind of nice to get your trimmer and do these old-fashioned hand measurements just to be on the safe side. And look, that lines up. We're off just by a hair. So I'm going to go over just a little bit, just because I want to make sure that I get true measurements. And then I want to make sure my paper is straight, because I'm going to save time. And trim that off. And then now we're going to do 8 1/8 again. And that one was right on track. So my measurements when I was writing it probably was just off, because sometimes it just happens. Nobody's perfect. So now this is going to go smoothly. Make that the same. Put it on my measurement. And, oops, that part didn't trim. I'm using a rotary cut trimmer where you press down as it moves up. I'm also able to do more sheets at one time, so that saves time, because I was able to do it on that one. I did 3 sheets on that one, so that saves you on time there. And I'm going to do the last ones all at the same time. So if you get a good trimmer, heavy duty trimmer, you're able to do more cutting at the same time, and that saves you a lot of time in completing your project. And all this is going to go in the garbage because I don't need it. I don't want it. I have enough of my scraps. I have more than enough that I need, so I don't need any more. And because this is thin copy, I got this at I think it was the at Staples, and you can get it by the ream, which is a lot cheaper. It's just a regular 8.5 by 11 thin paper, copy paper, but I like to do the color ones just to save myself time and make things a little bit more colorful when you get it in the mail. It's a lot more fun. Okay, so we did the 4.5 by 5.5. So the 4.5 by 5.5, which is 4.5 by 5. So 8 1/8. That's the A2 size. So we're gonna score this at 3 3/4. And there's little measurements here. See, 1 2 3. So we're gonna do to the 3 3/4 because it says 3 3/4. See right there. We're doing the A2 one. Oops, nope, take that back. Where are we doing? Which one are we doing? Okay, yeah, we're doing the A2. So 8 1/8 is what the size of paper we're starting with, and we're going to score it at 3 3/4. So, and because this is thin, you can do 2 or 3 sheets at one time, and you're good, but you save yourself a lot of time. So, one more time, back myself, 3 3/4. I'm double checking, make sure I'm doing this right, because I don't want to ruin these 3 sheets. So you always punch, and then score. Punch, score. And because I'm doing 3 sheets, I want to make sure that it went straight through, and it did. Then all you do is line up this little point right here to the last score line. You don't have to pay attention to this grid here at all, this ruler, because that doesn't mean anything now. That's only your starting point. It's a little hard to punch because I'm doing 3 pieces of paper at the same time. Oops. That was off. I want to make sure they're all exactly the same. Score, and then you're just scoring right on the line. That's already on the template here. There's a score line right there. I want to make sure that that's correct. Punch. And then score. And then if you want to, here's the leftover pieces. Some people do things with them. I just throw mine away. Because this was a little hard, I'm going to go ahead and just take one of them out and just do 2. Because that was a little hard for me. And this rounds off the points. Because I don't like that. That's just a personal choice. I don't like, see how that rounds it off? Instead of that pointy part, it rounds it off for you. And I'm just doing the two ends, because the other inside ones won't be able to see those because they're going to be folded in. So this is the inside flap, top flap that the person can open and that you see from the outside. So now we just fold it on the score line. Fold it on the score line all the way. You can do more than one sheet, but every time I do it, it always comes out kind of crooked. So I like to fold this one sheet at a time. But that's just me. That's just what I do. And I'm going to varnish that. Just so it's a nice crisp fold. You want to do that on all four sides. And if you ever get an area, sometimes you do, that's just sometimes this is what happens. You want to get some little small scissors and then just trim right on that fold line, because you want to take that bulk out. So when you fold your card, that bulk's not there. And there you go. See, the bulk is gone. But you know what? That's crooked. That is off. So what happened here? Oh, I see. I didn't crease it here correctly. So let me do that again. I see that there. Yep. That's the one thing when you do multi pages at the same time, they all don't always get lined up right. Sometimes that happens, but most of the time you can fix it, like what I'm doing right here is I'm fixing that. Okay, so there's my line there. So now let's do this one. I'm just going to crease the fold score lines with your fingers. And then at the very end, you varnish the whole thing. Oops, see, I'm off. See, I got off there. Didn't fold right. That is important so you can get a nice crisp. You want an actual square, a regular envelope. You want to make it a nice envelope. Okay. And see, that's nice and that's straight. So now you just want to varnish it. And then repeat it again for the next envelope. And if you notice on that one I just did, I did not have to trim anything because it didn't get off. A lot of that's just because not everything is lined up exactly the same, because I did do 3 pages at one time. 3 sheets, excuse me, 3 sheets at one time. And so something probably moved somewhere in between a scoring or punching, or just even just laying it down on the board. And there you go. Nice square fit. Now I'm going to varnish it. And there's that. Then let's get to the next ones. Only I'm going to do one at a time because I just want to show you the difference. So we did, what did we do again? That was the 1/8 and 1/8, 3 3/4. So 3 3/4, 3 3/4. Now I'm just doing a single page. Oops. Pay attention, Rosa. And be careful not to push too hard, because if your paper is kind of thin, you will poke a hole in your paper, and you don't want that, because that's pretty much a ruined look, because it will see the hole on the outside of the envelope. And then punch. See that? See what I did? Is I tore it. So that one's no good. See, what happened? That's what I just said. I didn't mean to do that. That was an accident, but it's a good thing that it happened so you can see that, so you can avoid that in the future. So when you do it, I move my scraps over to the side, punch my corners out. It's only the 2 corners. Sometimes I leave the corners on there, sometimes I take them off because I use a decorative punch, but it's a personal choice. But I want to show you that edge that's ripped, just because I want you to see what happens. Sometimes you can fix these things, and sometimes you can't. It just depends on the paper. Now, if this was a colorful printed paper with all kinds of flurries and stuff, you could easily get away with that. Okay. This, I just want to show you. I'm going to go ahead and varnish this. And here, see that edge? It's just a hair off, too much. I'm just going to trim that. Trim that off. And there's the card. Nice shape, but look, see the ridges there from where it ripped from my poking it too tight, but I'm going to put some Scotch tape. Just got to open up this brand new package here. Okay, let me find my original, start it, trim this part off, throw that away. Sometimes you can save it, make sure you got enough tape. And depending on if it's the inside or the outside, okay, so now I'm going to turn this around, do it backwards. And I'm going to put that on the bottom so you don't see it, so it's not noticeable, but I'm going to show you how to save it. So, and if you notice, I just want to show you, don't ever want to go all the way to the very tip with your adhesive because it's going to go through here. You only want to go through that part. So just about that far down. And I always start at the corner because I like to have mine flushed, especially if I have a little extra like sprinkles. Sometimes I put little things in there, especially like if it's a birthday card. That way, when they open it, they get all this little confetti stuff. I don't do it for everybody. It's just for someone that I know would appreciate the humor. Okay. There's your card. There's your envelope. And you made a save. Off a little bit right here, but that's okay, because you know it's probably going to be damaged in the mail. Maybe not if you hand it, but that's one way to save it. Or you know what, you can just chunk it and throw it away and start over. Totally up to you. So here's these other ones. Oh, you know what, I'm going to finish these off. So I'm going to do 2. So this is 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Make sure. Yep, I'm doing the AT. 3 3/4. Punch. Now I'm going to be careful with my scoring, not to put too much pressure. I don't want the point to be in there too much. I want it to go on the edge right in here, because that point is what caused the rip. I pushed too much. I applied too much pressure. Now just line this up with the score, punch, score, And because it's two pieces of paper, sheets of paper, I want to make sure the score goes to both sides, because the whole purpose of today's video is save time to do something else. There you go. Move this over. And I'm going to show you one without the tips, just so you see, again, it's personal choice how you want to do it. Fold them. This is the part you want to take your time, make sure you crease it right on the fold. You don't want to rush this part. Because see here, I rushed it and I was off. Can you see that? I was off a little bit right there. So I need to go back in. I'm a little crooked. And I want to fold on the crease. Okay. There we go. Varnish. And will the card fit? Yes, it will. But there you go. Okay, the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. There is the point, Lex. There it is with the point. And here it is without the point. And again, that's just a personal choice. However you want to do it. It's up to you. So, I personally like to pick it up. But you can, you know, put it down, face it on here, and there's the fold. You can do it that way. That's a way of doing it. Move it up to where it just, the natural score line meets there. See, that one's off too. I don't know why this is off, but it is. So let me measure that out. Smooth it over. Fold it flat. Varnish. 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 And there's your card. Last two. Make sure they're straight. 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Punch. Score. Take your time scoring. Don't put too much pressure on the tip of the score so you don't rip a hole in your paper. Line it up, the point with the score. Punch. Go along the score line of your template. Oh, that was right. Thought I missed my punch. Punch. Score. Line it up with my score line. Punch. Pull my tool away. Actually, no, I'm not done with it because I want to varnish the corners. So, put this in here. Remove my pointy tips. I'm through with the score. Stampin' Up envelope maker. It's called a Stampin'. It's an envelope maker. And there are all different brands out there. Different manufacturers make different kind. You could even get an on your cell phone. You can download an envelope generator. Look in your app store. That's a great way for those who don't have the tool. So you'll know what size measure, what size paper you're going to need for what size envelope you need to make. And it tells you the measurements. And you can actually score, because you don't need a scoring tool to score. You can use scoring tools out there, scoring templates, or just use the old-fashioned and just use a pencil or pen and it scores it for you. I'll do that in another video, different ways of how to be able to score that tools Because you can make all this without all these fancy tools that a lot of people have. That's one good thing about crafting is you don't need a whole lot of money to have fun, enjoy, and make something really worth it. Because you like what you're doing. You want to have, the whole point of this for me is just to have fun. Have fun. Do something for someone else to brighten their day. And cards is one thing that I think in today's age, even with electronics and social media, people still enjoy getting a card in the mail, especially when it's totally unexpected. Okay. Now I'm going to start doing my adhesive here. And again, I personally just like to have the two edge folds here and then there. You see there was a pencil mark, but I'm going to leave it there because it's not going to matter because it's going to be covered up. So I'll do it. But if it wasn't, I would erase it. But since it's not going to matter, and again, just go about a little bit more than halfway. I'm going to go all the way around. And then you can always double check it to make sure you didn't go too far down. And there it is. And there's the envelope. Here's my card. And you know it's going to fit. So that's one. Double check it, make sure it's not sticking anywhere. Nope, good. It's gonna fit. Card number 2. Envelope number 2 completed. Card number 3. That was sticky. Oop, that was another envelope. Card gonna fit. Oops, there's some sticky on that. That's 3. This is the envelope with the little points. Nothing sticking. Card number 4. I want the points there on that one. That one's going to be off because I messed up. Okay, I messed up. Oh well, no big deal. And because I'm off there on those points, because I just don't like that extra bulk. That's just me, Rosa. I just don't care for that, so I'm going to trim that off. And I did it backwards. I messed it up. So those are the oval ones. But I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Get my little piece over there. Because the whole point today was time. You want to use this, cut as many as you can in the less amount of time so you can work on something else. Other card. Yes, it's going to fit. Good. Oh, my little mouse is coming on my ATG gun there. Yes, it's going to fit. Last one. Just wanted to make sure it looked like it was off, but it's not. My gun away. There. Yes, that's going to fit. So, that's one. Oh, for some reason the recording stopped. So that's one. That's 2. 3. That's 4. And as you can see, that one was off just a little bit, but I bent it and I saved it. But this part here, look, it's going to be give extra bulk. You can leave it alone. My OCD is kicking in. I got to cut it off because I just can't handle that. That's just be Rosa. Cut that off. That extra bulk's not there. And see, that was saved. So that is 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. And you see how that's off? I will go back in here and I would trim that so you can't see that white edge. But right now we're just doing envelopes. That one's just a little snug, so I would definitely go in there and trim it, but it still fits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one, for some reason, one of them is a little taller than the other. Oh, that's the one that had the card in it. Okay. So there you go. There's all those cards. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and share if possible. And we'd love for you to be a subscriber to my channel. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. You have a great day.